Hello, everyone, and welcome once again. David Flores here, lead trainer at Mindful Life Project in Richmond, California. So happy that you chose to watch this video again to get a little bit of that extra mindfulness practice. So again, this is still part one of a six-part series. We've done in the other videos focus on mindful breathing, anchor spots, and intentional breathing. And in this video, we're going to focus on mindful listening. So mindful listening, we usually break up into two parts. It's usually, the first part is simply noticing sounds that are occurring around you one at a time without judgment. We can also use mindful listening when we're engaging in conversation with others. So we're not going to focus so much on that. It's simply going to be the exercise of noticing the sounds around us. So the great thing I love about this, because mindful listening is one of my go-tos when I need to get back to the present moment, is number one, sound is always around us, even when we think there's not. When we get really, really quiet, we can often find sounds that we didn't even know were there, especially ones that are farther away. Even if there's a light hum, whatever it is, right? And also, we are practicing just following one sound at a time and jumping from one sound to the next seamlessly without judgment, right? And if our mind wanders, we simply bring it back to a sound. And so we're training the brain how to be present with sound in the present moment. So when the mind wanders, which it will, right, to future and past thoughts, we can come back to that sound which exists right here, right now in the present moment. So we do this through a practice called naming, and we're simply naming sounds that occur around us. So discernment instead of judgment. So instead of saying, I like this sound, I don't like this sound, or, oh, that sound reminds me of this one time I went to this one place and we create a story. We're not trying to do all that. If we do, it's no judgment. We come back and start again. But what we're simply doing is naming it with discernment. If I hear a bird, I simply name it, oh, that's a bird. If I hear a car, that's a car. If I hear music, oh, that's music. And I'm labeling it that way to keep it with a lot of discernment instead of judgment. So let's jump right into the practice. So get comfortable with your feet on the floor, spine in a line, hands in your lap, heart to the sky, heart open. And we're going to begin with the sound of the bell as our first mindful listening practice. We try to follow the sound all the way to the end until we can't hear it anymore, and then we'll ease into other sounds. So eyes closed right now. I invite you to do that if you're comfortable, or a soft gaze below you. Let's start with the sound of the vibratone. So first in this practice, as we settle into our minds and our bodies, is noticing if we can get it really quiet. What's the first sound you hear that you notice? Just simply notice it, name what it is in your head. And then jump to another sound. Maybe there's another sound creeping in that you notice coming and going, allowing these sounds to pass. You don't have any control of them. Start to identify multiple sounds, but just focusing in on one at a time, jumping from one to the next. Notice what's very close to you, maybe in the same room. Even if it's very quiet, notice maybe the hum you hear, maybe the breath, your own breath, maybe the humming of an electronic device. And slowly begin to explore sounds that are maybe outside the room you're in. Maybe they're in the next room, in another part of the house, or outside. See if you can resist the urge to want to react or look to see what a sound is. Resist the urge to judge. Notice if there's judgment. We like some sounds, we don't like some sounds, but we can notice if we're irritated by a sound also and just let it pass. Now begin to explore sounds that are very far away. What's the furthest away sound that you can hear? Is it maybe the sound of a car in the distance, a train, a person talking, a horn, music, sound of an animal, a bird? If the mind is wandering, remember, never a problem. We're never trying to shut our brains off. We're just simply noticing if we're lost in future or past thoughts. Notice it, interrupt it, come back to one sound at a time here in the present moment. If you need to do that dozens of times, it's never a problem. Just notice the effect as you tune into these sounds right here, right now, how the effect on your physical body, the effect on your mind, your emotions. Are you beginning to settle in a little more? Is there resistance? So we're going to end this short practice with a little bit of mindful listening once again with the bell. Follow it just like you would a light at the end of a tunnel, watching the sound fade away slowly. And just slowly coming out of the sit, peeling your eyes open, adjusting to the light. Noticing how you're feeling now. How was that practice for you? Was it hard? Was it easy? Was there resistance? Was there judgment? Some people prefer focusing inward on the breath or the body as opposed to external, the sound. There's no judgment either way. They're all just options. So you have your breath always with you, sound is always around. These are the things that can bring us back to the present moment over and over and over again whenever we need them. That's the simplicity of the practice and the beauty which helps train our brain to be more present moment to moment. So hopefully you enjoyed this mindful listening practice. Feel free to try it on your own without any guidance, just simply noticing sounds around you. Especially I highly recommend it outside in nature. A lot you can hear outside that you can't hear inside. So thank you so much for joining today. Really appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day.